Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Boom Boom Reviews Stuff, and I am back for another review. Hello, how are you? This is Sally Joe the Elf, and she likes to kick because she's 50, and she likes to kick. Kick Sally Joe, kick Sally Joe. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so this is a video that I have fed out for several weeks now. And this is my video review of watching Elf for the very first time ever. Hold on. I need a little sip of coffee before I get into this video, because this movie was so saccharine, sugary, sweet that I am going to have to drink a little coffee too. Actually, the coffee scene in the movie when he's drinking the coffee is so funny. But anyway. Okay. So, let's talk about Elf. Well, probably I'm the only person I know besides my husband that has never seen this movie. So now my husband is the only person in the world that has never seen this movie because I finally watched it. And I actually watched it in two parts. I watched the first part, well, I mean, there's no part one and part two. I watched half of it 2 nights ago and then I finished it last night. And, you know, okay, so here's the thing. Here's my honest to God review of it. If I was going to give it a rating out of 10, I probably would give it just based on what I like in a Christmas movie. Because I think that this is the thing. I think a couple things go into what do you like in a Christmas movie. Like, my very favorite Christmas movie of life is Smoky Mountain Christmas with Dolly Parton. But, like, do I think that the majority of people that watched it would give it a 10 out of 10, that watch it would give it a 10 out of 10? No. I think most people would give it like a 3 out of 10. It's a made-for-TV movie, right? So I think it has a lot to do. I think Christmas movies, specifically holiday movies, I think have a lot to do with where were you when you watched it? Like, I don't mean like where were you like sitting on the couch. I mean like where in your life were you? What was going on with you at that time? Also, like, how old were you? Was it like a movie that you watched with your family over and over and over again every year, you know, during the holidays? Was it something that you watched like the day after Thanksgiving, like putting up the Christmas tree? You know what I mean? Like, I think all of those things kind of go into how somebody like enjoys a movie or whatever. And I, you know, I really believe that to be true. Like when I reviewed Halloween Town over here, and there were so many people that were like, I grew up with this movie, I love this movie, like, you know, you don't have the nostalgia of this movie. And that's true. I didn't have the nostalgia of Halloween Town, and I still don't, and I still think it's kind of a bad movie. But anyway, but listen, Linda, that's beside the point. So, going into that, what I would say is, I'd probably give this, I don't know, I thought it was cute in parts. I thought it was funny. I thought Will Ferrell was funny. I didn't think he was his funniest that I've ever seen. I thought the movie was Christmassy. I didn't, you know, it was okay. It was whatever. I'd probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. In all honesty, right? Were there moments that I laughed? Because I'm not a person that loves comedies anyway. That's like probably something that you need to know. Unless like Melissa McCarthy is in it or it's Bridesmaids, it's really not for me. Those are kind of like the two categories that I like with funny movies. I can watch Bridesmaids like 15 million times. Like that scene at the bridal shop, like that scene alone, I could probably just watch that on repeat and just howl and howl and howl. But anyway, did I laugh? Sure. Did I cry? I didn't cry. You cried. I didn't cry. No, I did. I cried at the end. I cried when the dad started singing and James Caan started singing and then Santa Claus, you know, like went over his head. Sure, I started, you know, crying. It was like a real emotional part for me. I love that. There were some things in it that I absolutely loved. I thought like, well, first of all, I think when it came out versus now, you know, I think it was so, like, kind of, like, geniusly done. Like, one of the things that I really loved, especially growing up on those, like, claymation movies, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all, you know, all those movies, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. One of the things I loved was, like, when, Buddy the Elf, played by Will Ferrell, you know, when he's like walking out in the snow at the North Pole and there's like those 3 animals that are very much like the claymation, and then the snowman that is, you know, reminiscent of the Burl Ives character, you know, from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And then my favorite, I have to say, well, there was 2 favorites of mine from the movie. My number 1 favorite was when the whale came out of the water. I don't know why I love this so much. And he was like going away on like the iceberg, and he was like, I hope you find your dad, buddy. I don't know why, but I thought that was so hilarious. And then the other thing was when Buddy wanted to give the raccoon a hug. Like, I just thought that was so hilarious too. And I mean, there were so many funny scenes, and it just was like, I think Will Ferrell just so, you know, he just like stepped into that role and was just, he's so fantastically became Buddy. Like the overtelling of like, you know, walking through, and then I walked through this, and then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel. I mean, it was so funny, right? And, you know, it just was really endearing. Here's the thing. I'm not a big James Caan fan. I'm not a big Mary Steenburgen fan at all, okay? And the last Christmas movie that I remember her being in is one, and it's a Disney movie, and it's very sad. It's like really, really sad, you guys. And it's called like One Magic Christmas. That's what it's called. And she and her kids are like, her kids are like in the backseat of this car, and the dad, I don't know, the dad gets shot and killed. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And then it's like one magic Christmas that the dad can come back. It's just real depressing, and she's mean to her kids, and it's just real sad and tragic, and they're like poor, and you know, and then the husband's died, and anyway. And so she's in this movie too, so she's decided that she's going to do 2 Christmas movies. But anyway, I don't love her as an actress, so I think that was part of it for me. You know, Zooey Deschanel, I think they should have had more of in the movie. Can we just talk about Zooey Deschanel's singing voice? Like, I didn't know she was such a fantastic singer. Is that like a known thing? Like, she has a beautiful singing voice, right? And I love those scenes. I loved when, like, he decorated the apartment. He decorated, like, the Santa's area. I don't know. It was just real cute to me. Ed Asner as Santa Claus was fantastic, I thought, you know. I thought it was a cute Christmas movie, you know. Did I think it was the greatest Christmas movie in the entire world? No. This is the other thing I was asking myself as I was watching it, right? Like, I knew, like, Buddy was gonna, I knew the book thing, that there was gonna be some tie-in to that at the end, there was gonna be, like, Buddy was either gonna be the story for the book, or Buddy was gonna help him come up with a book. Like, I knew that, and so there was a lot about the movie that I kind of, like, knew as it went, and so it was really, and then there was kind of, like, overplay for me, like, going through the revolving doors, like, that was too much. It was, like, too played out, I felt like. There was just kind of some things like that I was just kind of like, okay. The thing for me is like, with this movie, it's like, would I watch, like, with Smoky Mountain Christmas, or Season of Miracles, or Miracle on 34th Street, or Polar Express, like, is this a movie that I would watch every year? And for me, the answer is no, because I don't have any emotional attachment to this movie. I didn't, you know, it's not a movie that, like, I sat there with my family and I watched growing up. And it was funny because I was out to dinner with my best friend, Tanya Jean, last night, and I was telling her that I was finishing it, and she's like, oh my god, I love that movie. That movie is so funny, and blah, 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 whatever. And she was like, we used to watch that movie every year when her son, Nick, was younger. And I said, oh, so you have, like, you know, we were talking about, like, emotional attachment to movies, and I said, so you have, like, an emotional attachment to it? And she's like, well, yeah, I guess, because, like, you know, when Nick was younger, we would watch it, and it was so cute, and it was so funny, and, you know, him playing Buddy the Elf, and that's it, right? Like, I think that's it sometimes with movies, is like, who are we in the moment that we're watching it, and what are our memories attached to that point of our life? So, I mean, for me, it was just watching this movie that I had never seen before. And actually, I had watched, the night before, I had watched El Camino Christmas on Netflix, and a movie that I'd never heard of before that came out in 2017 with Jessica Alba. And in fact, like, I mean, it wasn't like the hyped up comedy that Elf was. I mean, Elf was more fully realized. But as far as enjoyable Christmas movies, I mean, I felt like El Camino Christmas on a completely different level because it's kind of a sad movie. I felt like it was, I enjoyed it just as much, you know? So, anyway, I would recommend that. Was Jessica Alba in that movie too? Oh no, Jessica Alba was in that movie. Jessica Alba was not in Elf. What am I saying? Did I say Jessica Alba was an elf earlier? I don't know. No, it was Zooey Deschanel. But anyway, so there were a lot of things that I liked in the movie that I thought were cute. I thought, you know, just seeing the scenes of him walking through New York City, like in this elf outfit, and like nobody is even noticing that because that's like New York City, you know, I thought that was funny. I don't know. It was cute. I really enjoyed it. I think, you know, it just, for me, it was cute. It was funny, and I cried at the end, and I'm glad that I watched it. I'm really happy that I've watched it and I've seen it now. If it was on TV, like, and I was doing other stuff, I would leave it on and I would watch it and laugh at parts and whatever. But would I seek it out to watch again year after year after year after year? Probably not, but anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know that there are some of you out there. Please don't unsubscribe to me just because it's not my favorite movie in the world, okay? I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.